Hello, this is part 2 of layering in action. So this is the painting that has been dried from layering action part 1. I've got some textural marks here. I am going to do some editing to the piece. I'm still going to use the same color palette. I've gone ahead and made some mixtures ahead of time. And so let's get started. So I'm going to do some dry brushing would be a technique. I think I'm going to do it down in here. There's some texture and I'm going to go lighter. So we've practiced this, but with dry brushing, no water. I dip my brush in and I want to make sure ahead of time that I don't have too much paint on my brush. So I usually wipe a little bit off. I'm just doing it on my palette. And then again, it's the low 45-degree angle. And as I lightly drag across that surface, I'm picking up on those textural marks. So not only am I seeing the texture, but now I've got two colors interacting. Again, I'm showing the technique. If you're feeling like, oh my God, what did she just do? I don't like that color interaction. It's not really the focus here. Okay, so going over that. You can see here I had more paint on my brush, so it's a little thicker. I can kind of scrub it. Okay, so that would be dry brushing. It's pretty subtle. I want it less subtle. I can build up a little bit more. Okay, now I want to go to this area. So I use my palette knife that has teeth in it to make this texture. I want to go over with another color. I'll probably pick, I'm going to go red. And my hope is that as I go over, these lines will show up red and I'll have red and blue interacting. I haven't really done this intentionally before. So let's see what happens. I'm going to use my angled palette knife and to be pretty firm. So the color, I'm getting the color in there, but then, yep, it works. Then I'm scraping pretty firmly. So I've got these incisions, and then it's like I'm embedding paint in those grooves. I am wondering if I wipe on the top, if I can pull up some of that red. So I'm going to try that. It doesn't work as well as I would like. Becomes more red. So I can scrape. Scraping seems to work better. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more dramatic, but that's okay. It's my first time playing with this, so I think it bears repeating, seeing what kind of effects I can get. Okay, so that changes it dramatically because now it's not really this blue form. It's more red with some blue. And let's say I didn't like that. Actually, I'm going to wait and I'm going to come back later and I'm going to dry brush on top and we're going to see what happens there. Okay, editing. So I'm going to choose to edit out this form here and have this little square up at the top. So I'm going to come back in. Now I'm doing that thicker impasto paint with the low 45-degree angle. I like some of the red lines showing through. It reminds me of lined notebook paper. So I can still leave some of that showing through, but come in a little bit thicker, closer to that. Editing out that shape there, letting it go from my original design. Now I'm overlapping a little bit. Not really fond of this interaction here that I did last week, so I'm going to make some changes to that. Actually, I made this new sort of green color. I'm going to plop that in there. Okay, I'm going to see about creating a slight transparent wash. I think I'll put it here. We'll leave that yellow, and I'm going to do a transparent wash over here. I'm going to do it with this green color, adding some water. I think this is the right brush. Okay, here we go. So that just changes the yellow tone. I still have the yellow showing through because it's transparent, but I've shifted it more to green. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here and try that dry brushing like I said I would. And I'm going to use the background color. It's going to disappear. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so if I lightly go over it on the top, picking up that top edge again, now I see those red lines more clearly. Now I can bring that red shape back that was there before. And the purpose of doing this is I can accentuate that textural element a little bit more. We'll be practicing this more in spring session too. So this could just keep going on for quite some time. I could change that color. Okay, I think that's about it. I can still bring in the drawing element if I want. If I want to draw on top of my surface and bring some of those lines back. I'm using pencil now because I don't want to ruin my Posca pen. So I can bring some finer marks back in and then continue my layering process till I'm satisfied. Okay, so I'm going to end. See, it's hard for me not to fuss with it. I'm like, oh, I need to add this. I can do more sgraffito. And on it goes. Okay,